So, I discovered something absolutely crazy with the crosshair in Apex that causes your aim to be unreliable. Have you ever been in an intense 1v1 situation with a Peacekeeper, only for your entire shotgun pump to miss or hit for just a measly 11? I swear, it's the most common Apex player experience. But I've actually managed to find out why, and it's not just only your aim. On screen here, I'm using an external crosshair overlay that stays truly centered on the actual center of my screen. Now, I want you to take a look at the crosshair surrounding my Peacekeeper. When I fire it in hipfire, take a look at how much it actually displaces itself from the center of my screen here. It actually manages to fully drift upward after I shoot the gun, making my second shot much more unreliable, especially if the target is jumping around or anything like that. Now, this alone infuriated me. Our crosshair is meant as a tool for measurement. It keeps us realigned with the center of our screen and helps us gauge distance between us and our opponents. It serves as an invaluable tool when aiming. Can you imagine if construction workers were just given measurements that were deceiving, like a wrong-sized ruler or tape measure? This isn't the only problem with the crosshair in Apex, and I'm sure you know that, but before I actually talk about the on-screen crosshair and how this overlay manages to help fix it, let me cover all the other problems with it as well. If you've played Apex for a long time, you're familiar with the concepts aim punch and screen shake most likely. If you don't know what they are, when you take flesh damage, your screen actually manages to shake around. This causes it to be a lot more difficult to gauge where people actually are and where you need to aim to be able to shoot them. On top of this, the iron sights for weapons in this game are very poorly designed, blocking a lot of your view in the worst case scenarios. You might say it's for the sake of balance, but why are there almost exclusively pay-to-win skins for so many of the guns in this game? If it doesn't absolutely fix the iron sights, it at least makes them a lot better, and I'm sure that you've either bought these with money or have crafted these. And sure, Apex has stayed away from making more of these, but they still exist in the game no matter what. And they also release skins that have strictly worse iron sights than default. So you can be stuck using these or wasting your money for skins you don't really want to use to lose the game. It especially becomes frustrating when some of these cosmetics are behind limited time events, such as the Season 4 Flatline. Other first-person shooters such as Valorant and Overwatch have insane crosshair customization. I mean, take a look at some of these examples here on screen. But in Apex, all we can do is change the color, which is a little underwhelming. So, I've taken it upon myself to, quote-unquote, fix the crosshair in Apex. It's a relatively simple thing to do, and I'm sad to say that this only ends up working on PC using an external software. Sorry, console players, but if you do want an option like this, I'm sure you can buy a monitor or something that also has a third-party crosshair system, if you really wanted to. Now, you've probably heard me say external program. I know you're already asking me, is this a cheat? Am I going to get banned for this? The short answer is no. The longer answer is you're very unlikely to be. We're using ReShade, a verified third-party program to install this crosshair, and that's it. It also offers a handful of graphical tweaks that you can figure out on your own, but Easy Anti-Cheat, the anti-cheat software used for Apex Legends, has whitelisted ReShade as an improved program that does not get flagged. However, at the end of the day, I am just a YouTuber and a streamer. I'm not EA, I'm not Respawn, and I'm not Hideouts. They are free to do whatever they want, but the most likely scenario is that they'll end up blacklisting ReShade, preventing it from booting up on launch. And to be honest with you, people run around this game with actual cheats and crazy auto execs that auto configuration for movement and all that. And they don't get banned, so I don't think you're going to get banned for something this small. However, I'm not responsible, but if one of you guys get banned for using this, I'm probably also going down with you. So, I want to show you the before and after of various weapons and talk about how this external crosshair can be both better and worse for some of these weapons. The Volt's iron sights become extremely clean. This is by far one of the best. The notoriously pay-to-win Wingman, its iron sights become actually useful without needing to find that precious one-time HCOG. On top of this, the 1-2 actually becomes a decent optic. I know most people don't pick this up because of how much is actually on it, but it's actually a pretty decent optic now that you might consider picking up. And it doesn't actually recoil back like the default iron sights do. It stays precisely on target and doesn't move at all. The G7 Scout gets this extra dot, which doesn't really help it too much. It kind of more so blocks the screen anyway. So you kind of need a scope more now with the G7 anyway. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into how to fix the crosshair in Apex Legends. Before we get into it, I'm sure a couple of you will ask me, do I have to use ReShade? And the answer is no, you don't. You're welcome to use any external crosshair program you want, such as any included with your monitor or any you can purchase or find online. However, I'm using ReShade because it's lightweight, very customizable, easy to set up, and most importantly, free. If you already have an external crosshair set up or want to use a different one, you can skip to the launch options section at the bottom of the video. So for this, we're going to go ahead and go to ReShade's website. A link is in the description below, or you can Google it. We're going to go ahead and go to download ReShade, download the latest version. And once this finishes downloading, we're going to go ahead and run it. Launch it when it finishes downloading, and then select R5 apex.exe. Click Next. Keep it on DirectX 10, 11, 12. You can go ahead and skip the preset to install. For packages to install, make sure you only have Sweet FX selected, as well as standard effects. This is what is going to give us the layer overlay that we want. You can go ahead and uncheck all of these. And all we want is layer.fx. This is all we want to install here. After this is done, you can click Finish to finish an installation. And now we can move to the next step, and we're almost already done. Now, we need an image as to which to use for our crosshair. If you're like me, you really don't want to sit down and paint and just draw something. So, Kovacs's website actually has a crosshair generator that you can use to make an image file that can be used for ReShade. There's a link in the description below where you can go to crosshair.themeta.gg to go ahead and make a crosshair of your choice. You can do whatever you'd like. There's a lot of options for customization. Personally, I like a simple dot. Use the link in the description below or pinned comment to make a crosshair to your liking, or you can go to crosshair.themeta.gg. However, if you still really don't want to make one, or if you just like mine will be hosted in my Discord server at discord.gg/wraithcrew, or the link will be provided below in the description or pinned comment. Go ahead and hop into the Apex Resources channel, and you can find it there. And while you're there, you might as well sign up for the free coaching sessions I offer if you're interested, or take a look at everything else I provide in there. But once you have a crosshair set up, go ahead and download the crosshair.png. It'll go to your downloads folder. And now what you need to do is navigate to your Apex Legends folder. If you're on Steam, this is pretty simple to do. I'm pretty positive there's a way to do this on Origin as well. But we're gonna right-click Apex Legends on our Steam, go Manage, Browse Local Files, and this will open up our Apex Legends. You can see now we have a folder called ReShade Shaders in here. We're gonna go in there, go to Textures, and you'll see we have a bunch of files in here. We don't need to know what these do. All we need to do is go into our downloads folder, and we're going to take this crosshair that we downloaded and bring it into here. Now you'll see we want to replace this layer.png. So what we're going to do, we're going to delete this file and rename our crosshair to layer.png. If you don't see the .png, don't worry. All you have to do is rename it to layer. From there, we will be good to go. We're going to go ahead and start up our Apex. So when you start your game, you'll see an overlay that says ReShade.5.92 or whatever version you're on. It says it's now successfully installed. Press home to start the tutorial. Now you need to press the home key on your keyboard to actually open up the ReShade menu. In doing so, we'll open this tutorial. You can go ahead and skip this. We're not using any of the functions of ReShade to actually alter graphics. We're going to just use it for the layer again. So layer might already be enabled. If it's not, go ahead and enable it here. And my crosshair works pretty well. However, you might end up with a crosshair that looks like this. If your crosshair looks like this and covers a bunch of your screen, all you need to do is change some of the settings in ReShade to scale it down. Layer scale is the main thing we're going to use here. We're literally just going to drag this all the way down to a size like this. If it's still too big or is lopsided, we need to change the layer size X and Y here. We want it to be 1 to 1, so we want these to both be the same value. You can simply change the bottom one to the top one, or the top one to the bottom one. So for this, I'm just going to use 1280 by 1280. Press enter. And this is still a little bit too big, and we can't really scale it down further. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half from 1280 to 640 by... You have to make sure to remember to press enter here. 640 by 640. And now, you see my crosshair is pretty appropriately shaped. Depending on what you did for your crosshair, you might have to tweak it a little bit more, but this should get a majority of you down to the appropriate size. You can make it as big or as small as you want, and again, this is why I like using ReShade. Very customizable, you can do whatever you like with it. Now, you might notice that your crosshair does not quite look as good as mine did earlier, and you'll see that here. Now, we're going to put an option into either our launch options or our auto exec that actually enables us to have this really clean crosshair look, as you can see right here. So, I'm going to put the command on the screen now. You're going to put this into either your launch options, like so. Again, if you're on Origin, this will look a little bit different, but in your launch options here, you're going to want to put this command here, reticle color, and then this long string of numbers with a plus at the beginning, like this. You're going to put this in your launch options, or if you have an auto exec set up, you can just throw it into your auto exec. If you just want my auto exec, again, it's in my Discord in the Apex Resources channel down in the description below. If you don't want this auto exec though, or you already have your own setup, you can just throw this in there, and boom, it'll work perfectly fine. So, now that we've done that, you might have to restart your game, but now your crosshair should look like this, and you're all set up and good to go. If you have any problems with anything like that, be sure to comment something down in the description below. However, if you want a faster reply, you can head to my Discord. Me or many of the people there could help troubleshoot as well, and we can provide any help you might need. Now, that should be everything you need to have a very clean and accurate crosshair to help you actually aim properly and have a better time, honestly, trying to play Apex Legends. This crosshair has helped me a lot, and now I actually find that I can actually aim with my crosshair when I need to, especially when trying to hold angles or shoot targets far away. Having a reliable crosshair is a really important part of every FPS game, and I really hope that Respawn eventually does something about it, or just make it more reliable in general. I don't really mind the bad iron sights on some weapons, but it really becomes apparent with screen shake and everything else that's kind of going on against you when you're trying to aim in this game. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. I'll be dropping a lot more guides and tutorial style content soon, including a catalyst guide, among other things. So, if you guys appreciate the content, be sure to subscribe. I'll be dropping a lot more soon. And like I said earlier, all of the resources and things you need to download will be in the description below, and my Discord server as well. If you don't want to set up anything yourself and just download everything and have it be ready to go, it's all in my Discord. So be sure to join, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.